Hello, Cinnamon here from A19, and we're gonna have cocktail hour light talk. So when you go to all of your parties, you have interesting trivia to share with people today. So disclaimer is I am a ceramic lighting fixture manufacturer. I do not make bulbs. I do not make sockets. I do not make dimmers. However, I'm gonna share with you my 20 years of crash course, what you need to know when you're buying a bulb for a fixture, especially a fixture from A19. So here we go. Okay, so the question of the day, what everybody wants to know is what in the world is an A19 and why would I name my company A19? A19 is the shape and size of a standard Edison shaped light bulb. A is the shape, so imagine an A upside down. 19 is the size of the actual bulb. So a standard A19 is 19/8 of an inch in diameter. Is it diameter or who knows, width? Versus an A15, see how it's smaller? Or an A21 would be bigger, or you could have other shapes like a G for globe, a tube, a par, a torpedo, right? The shape of the bulb is why it's called an A19. To glow like a traditional Edison shaped light bulb would, you want an omnidirectional LED. That's your most common light bulb now. So now we're gonna talk about other things. Since LED is most popular, we're gonna primarily focus on LED. So A19 is the shape. Now we're gonna talk about the base. This is called the letter E, the number 26, E26 base versus E12 base. So see how the size is different, but they're both screw shells. And so you can have a lot of different shapes of bulbs. All of these shapes of bulbs all have E26 bases that would fit inside of a socket that has that accepts an E26 base. So almost everything that we do at A19, we try to make to fit a standard light bulb so that you have the most flexibility in choosing the bulb that you want to use, an E26 base. And now, if you want to dim your lights, if you want smart technology to turn them on with your phone and your app, most often you can get a separate hub controller and you can use a regular A19. Now, I think that, remember, I'm not the bulb expert, but the exception to the rule to the E26, we still do sell what this is called as a GU24 base. See these little prongs? And it replaced the older pin-based fluorescent. And the reason that we supply these, and did a lot before, is because you can see that you cannot take this bulb out and put a halogen. Do I actually have a halogen? No. Pretend like this is a halogen. You can't put this in there. So that was a limiting factor. If you wanted a G24 base LED for me in one of my fixtures, it's probably because you want to meet some energy efficiency requirements and you don't want somebody to be able to replace that and use a halogen bulb that's going to use more electricity. It would be a forced energy efficiency. Now the good news is at A19, if we do make a fixture that requires a specialty bulb, something like this, like a little MR16, we're going to give you the bulb, so don't worry about it. The only time you want to buy your own bulb is when you want to buy your own E26 based A19 bulb. Otherwise, we're going to supply it for you. But I thought I would show you still the different base types. So you can see this is for our mini pendants. This is the traditional halogen, and this is the LED equivalent now. But the base types are the same. It would plug into the hardware that would be inside of the fixture, the socket, exactly the same. And we would provide that bulb with the fixture so you don't have to worry about it. And then if you want what we call a line voltage, which I'm going to get into difference in pendants, but the difference is really the cord. See the difference in the cord here and the cord here? Low voltage cord, line voltage cord, but we're talking about bulb types. So when it's a line voltage, it takes a GU10, it has little prongs. And again, if you order this type of fixture because you want a really small, short fixture, we're going to provide the bulb so you don't have to worry about that. But I wanted to give you a little bit of education. And E12 base. Remember I showed you the small one versus the large one? E12 base. And I think that's what you need to know about shapes. Now, people do ask us about LED. So there are things that are important if you are old enough to know what a standard Edison-based light bulb is, and you think in terms of, oh, I want something bright, I want it to be 100 watts. So your equivalent in wattage is now called lumens. So for example, 100 watt, and I don't have notes, so I'm not the bulb manufacturer, but I think 100 watt equivalent would be like 1600 lumens. A 75 watt equivalent would be around 800 lumens. I'm lying, that's not true, 1100. 75 watt would be about 1100 lumens. A 60 watt equivalent would be about 600 lumens. So lumens, that's kind of easy to associate. That's how bright the bulb is the lumen rating. And a lot of LEDs now, you want to check when you buy your LEDs if they're dimmable or they're not dimmable, because you can then have a really high lumen, like a 1600 lumen, and you can dim it down. Or if you buy one that's not dimmable, whatever the lumen rating is, the lumen rating is. So that's how bright the bulb is. And then the color of the bulb is called color temperature, and that's the Kelvin rating. And so you'll see a big, remember going into, like, think of a dressing room with fluorescent lights and it makes your skin look bad and it's not attractive lighting. I think, oh, somebody's gonna kill me who really knows. If you really wanna know, talk to a lighting showroom, because they'll have these on display for you. But your Kelvin, your incandescent, like a warm color, is about a 2700 Kelvin. That's gonna be very golden, traditional, like an incandescent used to look. And now, like if you want a really bright white, they go higher, like a 4100 Kelvin it's gonna get bluer on the color temperature, 5000. So like a cooler temperature, a higher number, you might want for like a crystal chandelier, because you want your crystal to look really cold and sharp and, you know, glass-like. You don't want your crystal to look yellow. But if you're gonna have a light in a dressing room or in a kitchen to make your food look appetizing, like the color red, then you want a warm color tone. If you're gonna have a light in the evening, you want a warm color tone. So if you want something that looks like an incandescent, go with a 2700 Kelvin. And if you want something cooler, go higher in number. 3000 is like a daylight, and then 4000 is gonna get cooler. And mentally, the lumens are based on the lumen number, but psychologically, some people think that the higher the Kelvin rating is, the brighter it looks. It's just the color playing a trick on you. It's not actually more lumen output. So that's your crash course. But remember, at the cocktail party, you want to remember what an A19 is. It's the company that makes ceramic wall sconces and pendants with the crazy owner named Cinnamon, and it is the shape of your traditional light bulb. Thank you for watching.